Hello and welcome to another episode of Motors for the Masses, and today, I say today, this evening, because it's been a very busy, very hot day, and the hottest day of the year so far, we are back on the NTV, and today the plan is to get it up and running properly. So the exhaust, we've got something to show you on the exhaust, and then we're going to get it all back together and run it up, and hopefully it'll all be nice and lovely jubbly. Then we're going to get the wires back in on the headlights and the indicators, and it should be almost there.
You ready for me? So let's roll the intro and get cracking. I thought you was going to start talking again. I am the master of this shit. So let's roll the intro and get cracking.
Crack! Different that was, do that. Different.
I've been a real bad boy on the town all night. Starting to calm down with the morning light down in the dirt.
So the first thing is to remount the airbox back on here. Fairly straightforward. Now, again, there is going to be some painting of this going on, but I want to put it back together and make sure it all runs up nicely before we actually paint it. And what we're going to do is just, now bear with me on this, brush paint this, because I want it to look rough and post-apocalyptic. If we start respraying it and powder coating it, it just looks too modern and not ratty enough. So the ratty, the better, you think?
Rattier the better.
That's the one.
Sounds good.
So one thing I bought is this, a decibel-o-meter. Now ambient noise is between 45 and 60, as you can see there. Talking is around 70. It needs to be about 1 meter away from the subject. So we're going to start the exhaust as it is now, without any baffles in, and see just how loud it is. And then we're going to periodically add bits to it and see if we can bring that down. So to start with, it's about 1 meter away, and it's going to start it without anything on. Side stand. Oh, hang on. There's no fuel. Let's just try that again with fuel.
Some fuel.
So now we have fuel applied. Now it's time to start it up once again. Once we've got fuel not pissing out. So I just... Okay, so first things first, I'm about 1 meter away. We're now going to start it without any exhaust baffling whatsoever. No! Ow!
That was 125 decibels.
It was 111 when you revved it.
I see 125 on there.
Did you?
Yeah.
I'll have to look back. Okay. Slightly loud. So before we go any further, we're going to put this on and clamp it in place, because as you could see on the last video, the last section of video, as soon as you rev it, that comes flying off. It doesn't matter where we go at the moment, I'm just going to clamp it in place. Right, so next we're putting in this little dB killer thing. Cost me 10 quid off eBay, just to see if it makes any difference whatsoever. Decibel-o-meter.
so that's 90 at idle, 100 when you're revving it, and then 115 when it pops.
Oh, too loud. Okay, now if you remember, this was the exhaust of choice. Now, Jamie discovered that a lot of the noise, obviously we had this baffle on, and a lot of the noise was coming out of this end hole. So what we've done, Chris has manufactured out a piece of alloy and shaped it so it sits nicely in there, and then we got that welded. So that is nicely in there, that isn't going to come out. So we're going to put this on and see what difference, if any, that makes.
I think that was slightly louder.
Yeah. What did we get?
That was like 95 on idle, just about 100 again, sort of as you boil revs up, but then again the pop in that is 115 odd.
Right, so basically what you were saying is, that does sod all.
No. What it's doing is, obviously, because you've got nothing in here, it's just rifling it out, and these are acting like trumpets, aren't they, now?
Right, okay.
Yeah.
So the next thing is to put that in, wrap it full of exhaust wadding, put that in, and then see what difference it makes.
Yeah, because this will disperse, you know, the gases outwards,
yes,
rather than being rifled straight through and out.
Okay, right, let's do that. So far we've put the exhaust wadding round, put some welding wire around this bit. There we have the baffle. Now that's got the wire around it, the straps on it, and that should stop it coming out of there, and then the hole blocked off at the end should stop it coming out of there. So now the plan is to put that inside that, and then hopefully we'll have a much quieter exhaust. What do you reckon?
Hold on.
It's not bunching it up, is it?
Yeah.
Ah.
I think what we're probably going to need is another plate in that second hole.
I think yes, there's going to have to be another plate in there.
We'll see how much difference.
Or it might be easier just to block them all off and then just drill holes in to let out the sound we want.
Yeah, we could just
And the gases.
Yeah, or you could just try putting that wadding completely over that. You know, just having a massive overhang over it, and that'll just stuff into here. Yeah, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Well,
Just see what it sounds like anyway. Let me just knock that in a little bit. Yeah, so there's a flat just inside there, so it's getting caught and just pulls the thing out.
That's not going to do any good because we'll just get all that noise and spit coming out of there.
Yeah, so that's what I mean. If we put that wrap right over, so then that wrap will end up being stuffed in there.
Okay.
Right at the end, then obviously that's all going to be covered then, and it shouldn't hopefully get caught because you got it going all the way in. Does that make sense?
All right.
Should we try that?
Then, really.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Right. This is where we're at now. So it's wadded completely. See that? It's like a little parcel. It's like a Christmas cracker. Now I'll pull this in. You pull that in. In fact, no, don't bother. It'll come off. So now that is in there. It's all the way to the end. All the wadding is right where the holes are. That's smacked down in there quite nicely. You know, I really hope this works. Alright, do you want to hold that on there and we shall fire it up.
I'll clamp it first then.
Hello, fuel. Come on, fuel. In you go. There you go. That's it. I'll try and hold the clutch in.
That's to do, yeah. obviously made it a lot quieter. That's in the 90s now, 95, 97.
Until you rev it.
Until it pops.
Yeah, when it pops, it's still hitting 115, isn't it? What is making it pop? Back pressure, I'm guessing.
Yeah, don't forget we're leaking everywhere at the moment.
I know, but
that's blowing that wadding out every
the hole.
orifice it can find at the moment.
So what then? To block off the other 3 holes, or the other 2 holes?
Yeah.
If anybody has any suggestions, please leave in the comment section below. I want to keep this exhaust, I really do. I don't want to change that exhaust out for a stubby little thing.
Yeah, I think of is plate all 3 and drill holes in them.
Now at this stage I'm going to introduce you to 2 little things I've bought. Wait there. Okay, so Jamie has tightened all the what's the names up?
Clamps.
That's the ones. So we're just going to fire it up again and see if that makes any difference. I can't see it making that much difference.
Well, it doesn't really stop the popping as much.
By the way, I have ordered another ignition barrel because this is bloody annoying. Come on, you bloody stupid bloody. Come. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry I called you bloody stupid. Come on. Oh, come on. Really? I love you. I love you. I love you. Hello.
They don't like you no more.
Oh, whatever.
Oh yeah, see if it likes me, that.
Make it so. Oh, shut up.
There you go.
Right, there we go.
Let me put this on over there.
Decibel meter.
Don't have to hold the exhaust on them. Petrol! I cannot stand the smell of petrol and I'm covered in it. Yeah, when that was 85 decibels and 90 without no popping.
Okay.
So, and that didn't pop as much as before.
No, it didn't.
So I think...
But the problem is it pops when you rev it. And unfortunately when you ride a bike, you rev it.
Yeah, but it may not pop when you're riding, only on the down rev, like your Triumph does. Yeah?
Okay.
The Triumph pops and bangs when you rev it, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Not quite as much, but it don't pop and bang when you ride it apart from on the down rev, does it?
No.
So,
okay.
2 things that I want to sort out is the leaky holes.
Yeah.
There's obviously 4 leaking holes there, 2 there, so you're losing quite a lot of gas out of there, back pressure. And here, inside there on the wadding, that's actually blowing around that wadding there.
Is it?
Yeah. If you look close, you can see where it's actually pushing the wadding out.
Oh, okay.
It's down that side.
So, would there be an advantage to blocking off those other 2 holes?
Well, yeah, it'll just give you more back pressure.
Which could stop the popping?
Yeah. And it'll make it quieter, obviously.
Yeah, obviously. But we need to drill holes in it.
Yes, you can't obviously block all 3 off with
No.
So yes, so you basically, I would probably start with blocking off that front one, so it leaves the middle one empty.
Oh, we are going to spray the inside black, so you can't really notice it.
See how that runs.
Yeah.
Because obviously where it's pushing the gas out of here, if that's blocked off, it's going to push it back round through the wadding again and back out of this centrepiece.
Yeah. Okay, I think that's the port of call with that then.
Yeah, so another plate in that front one.
Yeah.
Weld it in, see what it's like.
Yeah.
If it's too enclosed, then we can drill some holes in that.
Yeah.
But I think all that'll do is just redirect the gas back in through that wadding and back out through that centrifuge through the wadding.
Yeah, fair enough, yeah, okay. Okay, so that seems to be the way forward with the exhaust.
But that, you know, clamping
We're getting
these up
close.
definitely.
It did make a difference, yeah, you're right, yeah.
I say, because you've got 6 holes still there in your exhaust at the moment, obviously you're losing quite a bit of back pressure through that, I presume.
Now, if you can pass those two things there, because this is the other thing I had. I went online and I bought, in true Clarkson style, these. Now these are little inline cats, if you like, honeycombed. See them there? Tiny little things. And the plan for those was to put in the downpipe. So if I can swing you around. One in there and one
Ish.
somewhere else. Sort of there, but then we'd have to chop this about. It's awkward to put one in that pipe there, but would one be enough or would that mess it up?
No, because you've got to equal on both sides.
You have, yeah, right. So the difficulty is where else to put it.
It's the only reason this pipe comes out around here is to make the length of this pipe the same as the length of that pipe, is the
Okay.
idea of it, obviously.
Well, in which case then, we could put one in there, chop some of this off and put it in there. What do you think?
Possibly.
Would that make, I mean that will make quite a bit of difference, wouldn't it?
Well, it's going to dissipate the gas, slow the gases down and dissipate them a little bit, as in, you know, rather than it being straight gas flow, it's going to make it swirl and stuff, slow the gases down a little bit and create you more back pressure
Yes,
while putting them in, obviously.
yes.
However, is how you're going to mount them in there.
The other problem is,
These are all stainless, hence this is stainless, this is mild steel. So I don't know if you're going to be able to weld that to that.
I mean, you can't really clamp it. I mean, these are adjustable, so I mean, they can be cut out to the right size.
Cut it down,
yeah. They are going to need welding in. I mean, you can
Unless-
weld mild steel to stainless, but it's not pretty.
It is bigger, so you just cut that and you could sleeve it over, but it's just not going to seal very well.
No,
is
it's
it?
not. No,
So
it's going to need welding, whatever happens.
I wonder if you could swage these out, these ends. I know you get exhaust expanders that you put in and it actually expands the pipe.
Right.
You can do that similar to there and put a straight bit, just even a centimetre long, that will make the seal then, wouldn't it? If you know what I mean, you could put a clamp around it to seal it.
It's a bit chavvy there, isn't it? It's not really very professional at all. It's a
Well,
bit,
it's either that or you get some stainless steel damp pipes made up of it and then you're into loads of money.
are you though? I mean, I know this was expensive to do this, but you're just talking about bending pipes, aren't you, really? Not welding pipes.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Thing is, with stainless is it's brittle. I don't know if it breaks easy when you bend it. Hence why most stainless stuff, when it's welded together to create bends, is done with multiple welds like that, isn't it?
I wonder if I can search online for an NTV stainless exhaust or an NTV exhaust that's cheap enough to cut up and experiment with. Because the last thing I want to do is cut this up and discover they don't work and then I completely buggered the exhaust up.
Yeah, it's not going to be easy to put back, is it?
No. So it might be easier just to see if I can find another exhaust to put these in. Okay, I think we've gone as far as we can with exhaust for today. I think we should do the rewire. What do you reckon?
What, front of me?
Yeah, rewire the front, get the lights back in, and I will look at welding on some tabs onto the seat bracket
The indicators at the rear.
for the indicators. Yeah, all it needs is 2 straight bits of metal with a hole drilled in. That's easy. I'll do the back, you do the front. Right, unfortunately, unforeseen circumstances have ground, you'll see the pun in a minute, to a halt. Malcolm came over today because he needed his grinder. So I went out and bought a new grinder. And I went into Lidl and saw this nice cordless grinder. Fantastic, brought it back. And tonight we were going to use it. I just opened the box, opened the grinder, Oh, nice cordless grinder. Okay. I didn't realise battery not included. I didn't read the small print. Bloody good is that? And anyway, not going to grind much with that, are you? So yeah, thanks Lidl. So unfortunately, because I can't do the rear hangers today, sorry about that, Jamie's just going to explain what he's done with the wiring here. That looks a bit dodgy.
Yes.
Okay.
Right, so what it was is that we put these 4 lots of indicators on, and for some reason unknown to anyone, is basically the power when you put the left hand indicator on also powers the right hand indicator, and when you put the power on the right hand indicator it also powers the left indicator. The reason being is sending the power down both positive wires to both indicators.
So basically whatever you did left or right you were getting hazard flashes?
Yes, yeah. So what we had to do is put 2 diodes. I just used ones this just for testing what we had laying about. So there's 2 one-way diodes. So basically when you turn the right hand indicator on, the power can only go up to the right hand indicator and not back down and up to the left hand indicator. So the diodes basically make sure the current can only go one way up the wire. Yeah? So basically it's like loop feedback or whatever you might call it. But
so what's the plan with this? Because I'm sure that's not going to be left like that.
no, so this is just a diode, so it's just a one-way diode that's just put in line. I need to cut them a bit shorter, weld a bit of wire on either end with the connectors on the end of
Weld
the
or
wire.
solder?
Solder, weld,
Okay.
whichever you like to call it. This just needs cutting down because it's too long, because again I just bunged it on for testing. Yeah, so those just need cutting down and bits of wire soldered to the end of it, yeah.
Okay.
Or, you know, you can obviously buy new diodes that are matching or whatever.
Well, it's going to be inside the light unit and
It's going to be all behind the light, isn't it?
So, yeah, so
That's the one thing that we got to do is get this all sorted so it's working, and then we've got to tidy it up so it fits all snugly behind the 2 headlights behind there,
that
or
massive
just
bunch of
underneath,
wires everywhere.
or just underneath here.
Yeah.
So that's the plan.
Right, back in a minute. Tea. By the way, that's me, Mr. Happy. And that's that's him.
Quiet as a mouse.
Yeah, whatever.
There you go. Just tin the end of the wire first. Some of the end of that. Sorry, I haven't got much room here to move. But,
So now that has a piece soldered on, shrink wrapped, and then just some insulation tape over the edge just to tidy it up. And that is the diode now in place. So all we need to do now, I say all we need to do, is figure out a way of putting these wires neatly behind the headlights.
you can shorten that one if you wanted to. Depends on how you want. I think what you'll probably find the best place is probably have your wires in a block, you know, as in across there underneath the headlights.
Yeah.
That's probably the best place going to be because there's quite a lot there.
Yeah, as long as there's enough.
I don't think there'll be enough room behind the headlights there.
On full lock either way, as long as you've got enough where it's not
Yeah, well if it's
snag
sat
it.
there, it's not going to affect your steering at all.
No.
Because the steering is behind it. Right?
Yeah, no, I mean just pulling left and right.
Yeah, that should be right.
As long as you've got enough slack.
What you do though is try and arrange these so they all sit nicely in like a square block. You need that one out.
This as well.
And you also need that one out.
We need to tidy these up because they're a bit open to the elements there.
Yeah, we'll just put some insulating tape or something over them, but problem is getting
So
that.
what's to stop these getting wet? And if they get wet, is that a problem?
No.
No? Okay.
That's going to have no problem getting wet as much as that's not going to have a problem getting
Right,
wet.
fair
if you
enough.
know what I mean.
Okay. Alright, so let's tidy that up.
Yeah.
Now, as you can see, we've put these two wires together. It doesn't matter if those two touch, simply because they're both earths. So you can't really do any damage with two earths together.
Yeah. Same as that, because it's the same feed either way. It doesn't matter, even if you join them together and put them in as one, it's still going to work the same. Yeah. So there's no issue of that shorting out to that, because it's all the same circuit.
Okay.
That makes sense?
Yeah. Okay, we've got two options here. We can either get a large piece of shrink wrap and piece all that together in one big package in there, or we can do it the post-apocalyptic way and wrap it up with insulation tape. Now, I don't see any problem with that. Yes, it's a bit cheap and a bit, what's the word, chintzy,
Yeah.
but I think that's fine, to be honest. I mean, I don't see a problem with that. It's going to keep it in place. It's going to be behind the lights. It's easy accessible. If you need to get to it at any point, you just slice through the tape. You're not really going to see it. It's going to do the job fine. And I know people say, oh, cowboys, but it does the job.
I mean, not being funny, in post-apocalyptic world, are you going to have shrink wrap? And you'll be lucky to have insulated tape. You might be duct tape you're using, or
mud and hopes and dreams.
Yeah, clay.
Mind you, we're talking about post-apocalyptic, not the Dark Ages.
Same thing, isn't it?
Well, it depends which books you read and which films you see. Right, okay, so let's just bunch it up in some neat parcel and then just wrap it.
I say, bear in mind, that needs to access the headlight.
That's the headlight,
and
the
so
side
does
light.
that one, which comes out of that big fat bit of loom there. So you need to keep them fairly together and going up towards the headlight, like so, if you know what I mean.
Right, okay, but not in the wires of the indicators.
No, they can go in front of it, but they need to go into the headlight.
Okay, so why don't we, just for now,
So everything else
tape
there you can think, or just tape them together, just so.
together, so, and then keep them out of the way. Put that behind there.
So what you want to do is try and bunch all this up where you're not bending like that in half
Yeah.
and stuff. Might be a bit of a Chinese finger puzzle there.
Yeah, the problem is that is not just a flat block because it's like a big square.
Because you've got also, you see wires going to there, wires going down there, wires come out to here.
So how can we do this without... Oh, I
You
don't want to bend that.
can bend all that bit, just try not to bend that section there. You can bend them right around 90 degrees if you want because they're just wire.
Go on then.
In there it's not. So for instance...
Well, if you put that in the position where it's going to work...
So you just put one little bit round just to secure it, and then you can move it and manipulate it after that, can't you?
Yeah. Before we put it back in, let's just make sure the wires work.
Yeah, just wrap it up and then we'll make sure the indicators still work.
And the headlight, can we plug that in just to see if it works before we put it back in position? Woo!
Yep.
Yeah. So, if you had any other suggestions other than do it properly, because we understand there is a proper way of doing it and it can be done, but is it actually necessary in this situation? Would you do the same? Because I don't think that's too much of a problem. Looks like we just wrapped up a very small body.
What else is these?
Right, we've got a left indicator, hang on.
As long as only one working, we're
Yeah,
good.
left indicator,
Yeah.
right indicator, yeah.
Lovely. And then headlight, you have to start it, get the headlight on this. Or you might have to start it.
Oh really?
Yeah.
There's no, is the petrol on?
No, turn it over. An earth I've got to find for the side light because that's the one coming up.
Okay.
Run an earth in.
So all the wires still work, indicators still work,
Yeah.
everything still works. We're just now going to bolt it back in and make it look a little bit neater.
Yeah.
But that can just, like you say, sit behind there. How are we going to mount that to that? Are we going to just cable tie that on there?
Yeah, well you got this bracket.
Yeah,
on
the
this
bracket
here.
where the horns are on.
There, and yeah, cable tight to that.
To that what?
That fuck, what now?
Did you get that?
By the time we've insulated taped all the headlight ones black,
Yeah.
you don't really notice it, will you?
No.
Obviously, them ones will go to the horns as well.
Yeah, that's right. That, like you say, if we tape up all these yellow and white
Yeah,
ones.
they're all the ones that come off the headlights, just
Yeah.
for them. So we'll take that headlight off and then just wrap them all in insulate tape and make them black.
Yeah. That's right. That.
That's just got to stretch over to both horns, which it will. So that's all right.
Nice.
And then we just got to put an earth in for the side light.
Okay. Awesome.
Yeah.
So I've changed my T-shirt for one that doesn't stink of petrol. Jamie likes the smell of petrol, but doesn't like the taste of it. Is that right?
That's right. That's down to experience, that is.
Really?
Siphoning petrol out of my mum's car to put in my motorbike when I was younger. It's run out of petrol, run out of siphons, it wouldn't go down far enough, so then you'd lean underneath and then put a nail in the bottom of a fuel tank and collect it in a glass pint milk bottle.
A nail in the bottom of a fuel tank?
Yep. Bear in mind my driveway was on a hill, and the worst thing about it is obviously there was more fuel in the car fuel tank than what my bike could handle.
What kind of yob were you?
So once my bike was full, it went all over the driveway.
Oh dear, dear.
Oh, she was never going to drive it. She ain't got a licence even now.
Really?
Yeah. Everyone kept buying her cars and everything, but she never bloody passed the test.
Everyone kept buying cars. Nice.
Well, it's a learning.
So yeah, I'm just going to tape these up so that they're black, so you can see that. And Jamie is going to wire in a new earth for the side lights, and then I'm just going to plug the horns back in. Where's my tape? No. So if you have any strange and unusual petrol stories, please write to us at I have a strange and unusual petrol story at motorsforthemasses.co.uk, England.
And I don't condone stealing fuel off your parents.
No, no, or anyone for that matter.
I was an 80s child. It's a bit different then.
Yeah, I was a 70s and 80s child, but I never stole petrol from anybody.
You probably could afford your own petrol, I couldn't.
No, I'll tell you what I did used to do, and the statute of limitations is up on this, so I can say it. I used to go around and steal badges off the front of cars.
Yeah.
I think we've all done that. Have you done that?
Ford badges were the best ones.
Ford badges are brilliant.
You could sand them down and paint them whatever colour you want.
Exactly, but you could also just go and they'd come off easily. BMW badges, VW badges, obviously the Beastie Boys, if you remember the Beastie Boys, VW badges were the thing to have. I was never really into the Beastie Boys, but I had a VW badge in my collection, of course.
I could tell you a Porsche 948 or whatever, was it 948? Yeah, 948 I think it was.
Really?
The front badge on the bonnet for that was 80 quid, and that was back then in the 90s, so they were expensive.
Yeah.
That's why a lot of people got the hump when they got lost.
I think they got the hump because they had an expensive car and some little git had stolen their badge.
And because it's the badge, that obviously makes it look like a Porsche, because it's the Porsche badge. It costs you 80 quid to replace it.
But let's be honest, I mean, now, regardless of what your car is, if some little sod decides he's going to steal your badge, you'd be pretty peed off, wouldn't you? Maybe not you, because you've got an Audi, and Audis are chavmobiles anyway. Especially yours, which has been lowered and slammed. And
Says the man with the deranged Ranger.
it's not deranged. Deranged is the cheap way of doing it. Mine was the what's the word? Imaginative way of doing it.
Imaginative thinking.
Exactly. Nothing deranged about my Ranger. It's all arranged in a very nice and modern way. Is this boring for you? I do apologise. I'll tell you what, we'll pause this video and we'll come back when this is done. So now these are pretty much all taped up. Jamie just needs to test to make sure that the side light is working properly.
Yeah, I just wanted to make sure I get the right feed. So on that one in there. Sorry, the short leads. Let's hold that one there. Side lights, yes.
Yes, woohoo! Look at that!
And if I take that away, yes, so that's where we need to take the
Feed from.
yeah.
Marvellous.
So that just cut that off.
Have I got to stand here and hold this?
Yeah, you can stand there and hold it if you want.
Or just unplug it?
Yeah. So
There we
final
go.
test.
Yep.
Side lights. Lights on. High beam. Have a job.
Well, they're bright.
Yeah.
Pretty good, actually.
And side lights.
Nice.
Cool. Done.
So there we go, we're almost there. Now the only thing we've got to do is sort out the grinder so I can mount the indicators on the side, and then we've just got to reposition the regulator behind here, and that's pretty much it. The exhaust for next time, we are going to fill in that hole and then see where that takes us. And that's all we've got time for on this episode of Motors for the Masses on this video. However, next week we've got another new bike. Yes, the bikes are starting to filter through, and we've got the Bullet V-Bob 250. So stay tuned for that next week, and of course lots of other stuff as usual. So that all remains for us to say is, until next time, please ride and drive carefully.
But have fun.
Bye-bye.
Bye.